It's the most wonderful time of the year. Election season is here and Ant is still queer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. As the United States implodes, like we said it would during the election season. It's funny how all this stuff pops off. Just made that song in the last 10 seconds. Not sure how everybody feels about it. I don't even know how I feel about it. So let's just kick this show off. We've got too much to cover. Israel invading another part of Gaza. The boys are out of Boy Scouts. Trump's trolling the judge extremely hard. But Stormy Daniels storms back. We got to cover that. And then we got a bunch of frat boys going full U.S. MC, raising the flag, but this time not on Iwo Jima, but on some college campus war zone near you. All this and more brought to you by ghostbed.com and factormeals.com. Promo code Wolfpack50. Hit it, Joshua.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Yeah, they do. Running all the way into the danger. Danger, danger, danger. It's hump day. Hump day, baby. Welcome to the Filler Stop Podcast channel, the #1 channel where law enforcement and first responders go to be informed and entertained 5 days a week. We've got conservative ants. We have conservative Ant with us today, political commentator, influencer extraordinaire, political commentator, all the thing. We got Deadlight Media up in the house with all the fact-checking capabilities and all the production stuff backstage. From producer to host to fact-checker, he's done it all, folks, and he's crippled. So, even the blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes. By the way, we met one of the most famous crippled folks of all time, pushing for paralysis, pushing against paralysis. What is your handle? Is it pushing for or pushing against? Pushing with? Pushing with paralysis?
Yeah.
I'll fact check myself on that one. Wonderful. Go follow her.
I think it's pushing past.
Pushing past paralysis. Pushing past paralysis. Spina bifida. She's got spina bifida. But she's awesome. I wanted to do some comedy with her. I've got to do some comedy with her. I think she's a very funny human being. Absolute huge fan of Ants. And we got to meet her at the live show this weekend. And I'm still recovering from the live show. I'm still physically exhausted from all the content that we've created together. It was so much fun. Thank you for being a part of that and letting me be a part of it. I had a great time. Josh, sorry you missed it, but grow some legs and maybe you'll be at the next one. You know what I'm saying?
It's very homoerotic.
Was it?
Homo sapien, which
Homo sapien erotic. Yeah. There was a lot of Homo sapien eroticism going on. We did make some funny skits, some funny reels, one of which we could not post. We won't talk about it. But we did make a post, and we're adults, and that's how I know we're mature, because we all made it. And we all looked at it. And we said, let's laugh and then delete this and never speak of it again. And that's what we did, which is strange because I think 10 years ago, it would have flew. I think 10 years ago would have flew. Comedy's coming back, though. That roast of Tom Brady, that was pretty edgy.
Yeah, that was a good roast.
It was a great roast. And I like how just a lot of words are coming back. Retard, fag, all those things are all coming back. And I like that because those are my favorite words.
Did they ever really leave, though?
They did for like 2 or 3 years, bro.
It's funny to me because the same people that grew up in our generation and our era that used to use the word retard, we didn't use it as somebody who was literally mentally challenged. We just used it as
those
like,
people
you're
aren't
stupid.
retarded.
Like, why are you being retarded?
Yeah.
And so when I found out that was offensive, I was like, holy shit. But also queer was offensive, and now it's part of the LGBT soup. So
you know that when I was singing my song, I was just trying to make rhymes and make it funny. When I said Anne is still queer, I felt really bad saying it because, like you said, in the 90s, you called somebody a queer. That was the gay bash, right? Like if I called you a fag, that wasn't a gay bash. That was like, bro, you're such a fag. But if I'm like, dude, you fucking queer, like you were like, yo, easy. You know what I mean? Like it was
You're like,
not.
slow down.
Yeah.
And now
it's like you want to be called queer. This seems weird to me. That's like I've always said that black sounds offensive. Like if I was a brown person, I wouldn't want to be called black because you're not black. Blacks is pretty offensive too.
Yeah, I think it's offensive to assume anyone's color. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But
well,
anyways,
it is an easy, like especially when you're a cop. It narrows things. It starts the narrowing down. I hate it when somebody doesn't tell you the race and you have to ask. You're like, it was a male and they had stringy hair. And you're like,
right.
Okay, but I mean, is this a black male with stringy hair? Because now we can start narrowing shit down. But like, I can't go looking for a black or white dude with stringy hair.
Right. Like, was he Asian? Was he black? Was he, you know what I'm saying?
Mexican?
Latino. Also, Kathy Hochul of New York doesn't think that black kids know how to use computers.
Dude, that was so funny. Now, I saw a reel this morning, 5 minutes ago. I didn't get to share it with you yet, and I didn't get to rip it to put it on here. I will rip that reel. I will go back and find it, and I will put it on our Instagram, the Last Call Instagram, not the Failure to Stop. So it's, what is it, Last Call _12?
Yep.
Our Instagram. I'll put it on there. Bro, it's this black dude wearing like underwear, like brown underwear.
Oh, and he's jumping around
rolling on the floor, and he's like, and he's like touching it, like as if it's like he's a Neanderthal. He's like, and he starts like biting on it. He's like, what?
But that video of that guy, that just resurfaced. That came out a few years ago when Joe Biden said, Latino kids and African American kids are just as smart, or whatever.
I remember that.
And that's when that guy did that video a long time ago. But it's relevant again now because Democrats are super racist and they, you know what I'm saying? So
that was so crazy where she's like, there's some black, what'd she say, like in the Bronx or like
she's like in the Bronx, she's like, black kids don't even know what a computer is.
And you're like, what? Now here's what's more likely than that. There are white children in the hills of West Virginia that I can almost guarantee you have never seen a computer.
I was going to say,
I'm more likely.
Yes. I'm willing to bet that there's more white hillbilly kids that don't know how to
We're like ultra conservative, like religious based, you know, Mormons. Yeah.
Mormons, Utah.
What are the Amish? Quakers? Like, I bet you there are far more white people that have never seen a computer in America than there are brown people or people of colored in America. See what I did there? I didn't use black people because I don't like it. I just think it's offensive. Not that I have a say in it. I can't believe she said that though. That's bizarre. Not the only thing that's bizarre that's come out lately of people just assuming audacious things. There was a thousands of year old Neanderthal skeleton found, and lo and behold, they put a gender on it. What would you guess the gender would be?
I look very similar to said Neanderthal.
All right, hold on. Give me the look. Here's the Neanderthal. Guy or girl Neanderthal? Or is this just a claymation of ant without a beard?
Put it up or?
Huh?
Are you putting it up? Or?
It's so close we can't tell.
Oh, that's my bad. That's so
no, they said it's a female. How do you think the LGBTQ plus Hamas Palestinian movement feels about them assigning a gender to it?
I don't know. I'm just super curious to see in 75,000 years when they dig up a Zizemzer tits, what they're gonna call it. You know?
Yeah, this here appears to be a Zer. Now the furry anime thing that's kind of taking over. There's like 3 influencers. They're doing a lot of collabing together. It's getting a little bit obnoxious, but is this a new movement that we can expect? This whole
God, I hope not. It's so fucking weird.
It's very cringe. And I'm kind of
letting mental illness dictate everything is the problem.
Well, it's
Just call the
it's like
pound.
you're forcing me to bully at that point. I can't watch that and not really have this just animalistic primal desire to bully. You know what I mean?
I don't get where, like, what point did we just stop wanting to be productive members of society? Like, we live in such a baby coddled country right now that you can literally, I want to be a dog. I want to be a fox. I want to be a cat. And that's what I'm going to be known
But
as.
Zennials did that. But here's the thing. We did that to the kid. Zennials are the parents of this, whatever the fuck this is. So who do we blame here? We bitch about it, but my friends are the ones who did it.
Right?
They coddled them. They said, "Oh, you could be whatever you want." My dad would have put his fist so far in my fucking throat, it would have came out the other fucking side if I would have came home and said I was gonna be a dog or a cat or a fucking zebra or whatever. Our generation, Zennials, that's our kids.
Yeah, why are we excited about that too?
I will beat the fuck out of my kid. There was a video the other day that this guy that I'm following on TikTok, awesome, amazing. Go look at my TikTok. I duetted the video. I even posted on Instagram. He said, if as a gay man, and he's a father, if our kid would come out as gay, how would we feel? I would be devastated. Because why would I want my child to go through a rough life? And why are parents brainwashing their kids to believe that that's an easy way of that? Like, you can be this. You can change to at 6 years old. Why are you trying to give them a rough life? I would assume that my child is straight from the time that they were born. I would just assume that. That is the way that I would want them to live their life. I would want them to marry a woman. I would want them to get married and have kids and do the whole thing. And I want to be a grandfather. I would stray them away from being homosexual as best as I can, but it is not a choice. So if that naturally happens to them, then that's fine. But I'm not going to introduce that lifestyle into their lives. What me and my husband do, we're not all over each other. Because two men shouldn't be doing that in public together. We're not laying together, cuddling, watching movies in front of our kids, because two men shouldn't be doing that together. Okay, that's just not the way God intended procreation to be. Okay, it's supposed to be between a man and a woman. Now, if you want to do that on your time because you are a gay man or you are a lesbian woman, that's fine. But keep it out of the kid's head. Yeah. Let them decide that on their own one day when they're grown.
Yeah.
But this whole society of Gen X, Zennials or whatever, raising their kids to be a cat or a dog or a mouse or a rat, whatever, gay, zen, zoo, boo, boo, bullshit. It's like, we're tired of it. I'm tired of it. I can only imagine you'd be tired of it. I know the boomers fucking don't even understand what's going on. They just want to fucking end it already. And I can only imagine what the silent generation is thinking. You know, people in their 70s and shit, they're probably like, blow my brains out. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, pull the plug. You know, I ran into somebody this week, and I'm not going to say, obviously, I'm not going to say who it is, but they're friends enough of mine that I can question some of the shit they do. But, you know, real left-leaning, very left-leaning, said two things to me this week. Far left loves to argue on all the holidays that we see them at all, like Friendsgivings and things. This is always the couple that has to bring up Donald Trump and did you hear what so and so did? Two things came out of their mouth. One was nobody smokes more pot than I do. Now this is a person with two children, two different dads. Not super uncommon, but nobody smokes more pot than I can, I assure you. That was the prelude to her argument. And I'm like, I don't know if you want to start an argument with me with nobody smokes more pot than I do, when you also kind of portray yourself to be like ultra cool mom. Now, her son, who's also the same age as one of my sons was wearing pink Crocs, like baby pink, like Pepto-Bismol pink. And I said, why is your kid wearing pink Crocs? Oh, that's the one. Those are the Crocs he picked out. Why did he pick out pink Crocs? Well, he just didn't like the blue ones. He liked the pink ones. And you think that's a good thing? Like one, they're too young to know what color Crocs they really want. Like that bitch will wear a blue Croc, a yellow Croc, a green Croc. They don't have favorite colors at that age. Promise you.
No, they don't.
I mean, my daughter likes pink things, but if I give her a blue Minnie Mouse, I'm not going to give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, why do you do that? Oh, it's because you want, and I know that she is the type that wants to have a kid. Now, they were also an hour late to our meetup, which fucked over everybody. Like we missed out on all sorts of things because they were an hour late because they wanted to stop at Walmart on the way and pick out matching t-shirts, which is also very gay. But like everything was about them. And we also happened to lose their child like 3 times while we were with them in this big, massive place. I don't want to say where we're at. I don't want to give too many details away. But then the argument was, we would love to take your kids with us to such and such place tomorrow. My wife was like, give me a look. And I was like, yeah, we'll think about it. They might be too tired. We get in the car. My wife was like, absolutely not a chance in fucking, like, love them as human beings. Like they can hang out with us. They will never. And they're not gay. It's a straight couple, but just
it's the allies. It's the gay allies. Yeah,
it's the gay allies. They were, like, she was like, there was they lost their kid like 3 5. The husband got lost for like an hour. Couldn't find it. He couldn't figure out his way around a theme park for like an hour. And I'm like, bro, are you the dumbest motherfucker on the planet? Like, have some sense of pride in being a man and not like, listen, even if I was lost, I wouldn't admit to you that I was lost, but it like really shows you. And they're very young, they're in their like early 20s. And it was just so frustrating to me because when you're raising a kid that's going to be a victim its whole life, like you're raising a dumb kid, you're doing pot all day long. You're bragging about how much pot you smoke, which is, it's like bragging about how much liquor you drink. Like that's not, when you're a parent, that's not, you should be past all of that. It was very, very sad and very odd. But that's the way liberals are raising children these days. It's very strange.
I know that you don't smoke weed, but I don't think weed is a big deal. I think you should do it on your own time.
That's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't.
Personally, I'm not I mean, I'll smoke from time to time, but I'm not a weed smoker.
Would you find it acceptable for somebody to start an argument with like, listen, first of all, nobody smokes more pot than I do?
No, I agree with you on that. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
And the argument wasn't about, well, the argument was we were meeting them at their place. And the smell was so bad, I could not stop coughing. I'm not a guy that coughs a lot. But when I go by the candle shop in the mall, like Yankee Candle, dude, I don't know what it is, but my nose tickles and it makes me, if I breathe through my nose, it comes out as a violent cough. Like my nose doesn't allow those kind of strong aromas. So when I walked in their house, I could not stop coughing. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I got. So
you guys don't use candles in your house?
It's not my house. No. Oh, in my house? Yeah. Like one Yankee Candle is different than lighting a candle in your bedroom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Yankee Candle it's obnoxious for me. Same way as like when I go into the convenient mart and they got like 8 incense burning in there.
Oh,
it'll tickle my nose too. It'll tickle my nose. It's not that I dislike the smell. It's just I cannot physically breathe in through my nose without coughing. So I'm coughing and I'm like, God, dude, it smells like you're growing like this is a marijuana grow factory. Like this is crazy. It's a nice house too.
And you're a parent. And
I'm like, you guys smoke inside the house? And she was like, yeah, but we do it through vapes, so it's not like a big cloud of smoke. I'm like, dude, this is the most. I've been searching houses as a cop, drug houses. I've never smelled a house this rich of marijuana. And she's like, trust me. Now, this isn't her house. This is the other person's house. She's like, trust me, nobody smokes more pot than I do. And I can tell you that this isn't bad. And I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking argument I've ever had in my whole life.
I give you so many props for being able to like hang out with them because I wouldn't be able to.
Well, I hung out with you guys a lot. While I was
that is also true.
There it is.
So, okay, let's jump into the first news story today. By the way, today's show is brought to you by ghostbed.com. We'll talk a little bit more about Ghostbed here. You posted a short reel of my child doing some crazy ollies over you. We'll talk about it in a few
By
minutes.
the way,
Thank you so much for
coolest
doing that for him.
kids I have ever met.
Thank you.
Honestly, Tansy boys are
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
not
I love
even
them.
like I'm not fluffing you. But they're awesome fucking kids for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go with the first story of today. Boys are out of Boy Scouts. Now, this is making headline news. I'm going to pull this clip from The Guardian. If you're new to this show, it is all political news, but we give it to you as objectively can. So I literally have articles from the AP, from Fox News. I've got The Guardian, and I got New York Times. So I'm not just ripping stories from Fox News, trying to give you guys more of an objective look across the board at news. So I pulled this story from The Guardian. How do I pick these and choose these, you ask? How do I pick these and choose these? I go with whoever's going to be the least emotional. So if I click on CNN and all the first paragraph is an emotional response, I'll skip it. Fox News, if I see that you're trying to rouse me, not arouse, but rouse, like make me rowdy or get me in a tizzy, then I will pass you along. And so I thought when I got to The Guardian on this story, it seems like they were just laying down some of the facts. So I chose The Guardian on this one. Boy Scouts of America changing its name for the first time in its 114-year history and will become Scouting America. It's a significant shift as the organization emerges from bankruptcy following a flood of sexual abuse claims and seeks to focus on inclusion. Now, I want to mention real fast I have talked about this in length on other podcasts, and probably on this podcast in the past. Sexual predators will always go where there's a target-rich environment. You're not going to fish in a pond that doesn't have any fish. So what kind of job would an active sexual predator, not a repressed or not a suppressed sexual predator, not somebody who has sexual predator tendencies but is trying to like not let those consume them, but I'm talking about active sexual predators who are out being predators. Where are they going to seek employment? They're going to seek employment where there's children.
Driver,
churches,
Boy Scouts of America.
Boy Scouts of America. So I expect you to find child predators in the church, in the youth groups. I expect you to find child predators working in, now, not to say everybody is. I'm just saying that's a good place. If I'm going to go fish for bass, I'm going to go look for a pond that has indicators that bass would be in the pond. And so it's no surprise to me of the sexual abuse allegations in the Boy Scouts. I've always said that there needs to be extreme accountability in the Boy Scouts, and that's as easy as surveys. These kids take surveys before they go on the trip. They take the same survey when they get back from the trip, and these surveys are looked at under a microscope to see if anything nefarious happened. Also, if you know that it's a hard target, if you know that law enforcement is actively involved in Boy Scouts of America, the predators aren't going to go there. They're going to be like, well, that's too tight-lipped. They actually give presentations and speeches about speaking out against your instructors and things like that. It's like the church that speaks up about pornography is probably a pretty safe church to go to. It's the churches that won't talk about it. They won't mention it. They won't say the word pedo. That's the one that probably has the problem. They go through this extreme, fleeting. Everybody was fleeing the Boy Scouts because all these sexual allegations. So then they double down on the predatoriness and say, fine, we'll just open it up to the predators and the would-be predators. What's you guys' take on this?
I look at it as completely, there's that take on it. And then we are just the entire country, the entire last couple of decade, we've tried to emasculate men for whatever reason, but we're emasculating men. It's Boy Scouts of America that are going to create the next men of America. So when I'm reading the Boy Scouts of America's statement that the Boy Scouts of America currently serves more than 176,000 young women and includes over 6,000 that have earned the rank of Eagle Scout. So, okay, so if we're going to do this, we just do away with every bit of this. We have one bathroom. We have one sports system. There's no WNBA. We just have the NBA. We don't have anything with girls sports. We don't have any title. We take away all of it. because either we have a difference, there is a separation, there is a complete difference between men and women, or there's not. And if there isn't, then why would, I don't know, why would the governor of New York be trying to add more women into the construction jobs and wanting to have money set aside and funding and things for projects specifically for women? Maybe it's because women won't want to do that job because it's a physically demanding job and they don't want to do it. It's something that you need a man to do, something that you would learn when you go to Boy Scouts of America and you learn how to become a man, learn how to build, learn how to make things, learn how to become the next men. But when you are just codifying and you're just taking what it means to be a man and getting rid of it, then you're introducing all of this. You're asking for the predators to come in there. Because if a man was there, the man would say, hey, we don't want all these predators around the children because I'm here to protect the kids. I'm going to do the man thing, step up, lead these men to be the next men so they can protect their children. And then they can set up, and it becomes a revolving door of this. Hey, we're going to do good for the world. We're going to do good as men. But when you start taking it away, it just means everything. It's a clown show.
If you raise real men and you raise leaders, you won't have victims. Like, let some guy try to touch my kids, and they will never keep that a secret. I mean, you might be able to overpower them, but they will absolutely 100% tell me that it happened. They wouldn't live in some kind of victim mindset. And then guess what? They'd have full confidence that daddy's going to end your entire fucking bloodline. Do what you got to do, homie. But just know the repercussions of this, you're going to be blood-eagled and strung out for the whole public to see. And I think my kids have that confidence even as young as they are. I don't have to worry about them being victims so much because, one, I know that they will run, they will shout, they will yell, they will say, fuck you, fuck no, I'm not going to do this. Like, they're not going to be able to be groomed because they have a father figure in your life. Now, Boy Scouts of America, there are a lot of kids that don't have a father figure in your life. Boy Scouts of America should be that place where that father figure steps up, or, hey, here's how to be a man. Here's how to survive. We're going to do gross shit. We're going to do major. We're going to push your limits. We're going to push you to be uncomfortable. But at the end of this, you're going to have the confidence and the bravado to be a man, and you're not going to be a victim.
Yeah, I was raised the same with a very masculine father, hard construction worker, hard guy, immigrant as a child. And I did not go into Boy Scouts. My parents were very weary of strangers being around kids. But we did go camping growing up all the time. And my dad and my uncles used to teach us all the things. So it was like kind of the same boy shit. You know what I mean? Here's my take on it. Agree with both of yours. That's also another two good perspectives on it. I'm coming at it as they're saying that it's a more inclusive way. No, inclusivity nowadays equals division. And what they are doing is they are trying their hardest for people to be so fed up with the LGB community. And I'm saying LGB, just the lesbian, gay, and bisexual community, because the trans community means nothing to me. Sorry. They are doing everything in their power for us normal ones that agree with a huge portion of America. We also agree. We've worked so fucking hard to get past that era of the 80s and 90s where people would be like pull their kids if there was a gay person around. Yeah, we don't want your kids. Like the normal upstanding American gay man or lesbian woman, we don't fucking want your kids. But what they're doing is they're reverting the community back so that people will be so fucking pissed off. So then Democrats can be like, see, they're all bigots. Look, bigot. That's bigot. That's MAGA country, MAGA people. So they're trying to divide us as much as they possibly can. I'm telling you right now, they did this with BLM. They did this with George Floyd. They're doing it right now with Palestine and Israel. They want us to fucking revolt so that it will get to the point where they don't have to have an election. I'm telling you right fucking now. Because even like yesterday, I don't know if it was you I was talking to or I don't, it was one of my friends because none of my friends have any filter. So I was like, I now understand gay bashing. Sorry. Like, because I'm almost like, if a motherfucker comes up to my fucking nieces and nephews, I will rock their dead fucking ancestors will feel my fucking wrath.
Sure.
So like, I can only imagine as a parent, what you guys feel not in that community. So that's my take on it.
Speaking of which, thank God for safe spaces, so there isn't gay bashing. Maybe
Can we
one of the
show
most
the
fun-
video? Can we show the video?
I don't know if we can rip it or not. I know Josh can disappear and try to rip it while I do these ad reads. Maybe. Do you know which one we're talking about? The safe space video on Instagram, or is it
No,
rippable
I
right
don't
now?
know. If you sent, do you have it available to send it to me, Anthony?
I mean, what platform can we send it to you on?
If you send it to me on Instagram, I can pull it real fast.
I'll send it to you right now. Actually, can you message him on Instagram? Or I'll do it really fast. All right, I'll do it, and then I want to get into. Hold on, don't leave us. I know you audio listeners are like, "Come on, guys, stay with us here."
I can keep going on, but so that's what I'm saying. You know, it's like I feel like we've been hearing like there's always been like this dark joke about the Boy Scouts anyways for like decades, where it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Saturday Night Live and did like a skit where there was like, you know, somebody in a tent with like a Boy Scout and a Boy Scout director. And it was like, oh, let's just cuddle. Like, it was super weird.
Right.
I think it was one of the Baldwin brothers, actually. I think it was Alec Baldwin did it. If you look it up, Saturday Night Live, he was like the camp instructor or the camp counselor or the Boy Scout counselor. And, you know, obviously the person he was playing with wasn't a real kid. It was an adult. But they did this whole skit where they like were in a tent together. And like, so I feel like that joke's always been around. I just feel like now that this situation happened, it's going to be magnified to 1,000 because they want this isn't an inclusivity thing, it's a division thing.
Well, I mean, Boy Scouts of America is such like it's such a perfect environment for that kind of behavior, because there are
Teen Boy with Adam Sandler. There it is. Sorry. There
are certain children that their parents use Boy Scouts, not many, but they use it as like an escape to be a parent, right? They're kind of like not the best parent. They're not ultraly involved. And it's just kind of like another one of those after school activities that you can get away from your kids for a few hours. And so then it doesn't make sense to me. I would never allow my kid to go camping with anyone, not a Boy Scout leader, not a youth troop leader, unless I know the person that they're going with, and I know everything about them. Now, if my kid's a certain age, like by the time Duke is 14 or 15, I got no problems, because I think he'll beat pretty much anybody's ass that he wants to at that point. And same with Augie. So, but like in that 9, 10, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, pre-pubescent era, where these kids are like dejected, if that's the right word, dejected children. It's just, I don't know. It's a breeding ground.
Well, I was a lot like your kids too. You know, I had very hands-on parents, and we were very blessed to have that in our lives. But you know, like if a grown person came up to me and said something weird, I would have been the loudest kid on the playground. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking weirdo. Get the fuck away from me. Yeah, I would have started. Yeah, you know, but that's because I had hands-on. I had home training. I mean, you know, these kids nowadays, or these parents nowadays, they don't give their kids no home training. So when they go out and you see these kids acting a fucking wreck, I'm sorry, but that's home training. That's the parents.
Yeah.
Okay. And all they do is they say, here you go, here's an iPad.
Parental illness. I saw it in Disney World last week.
I loved your post on the iPad.
Dude, if you have to give your kid an iPad at Disney World for any reason, you failed. Okay, pause it real quick. Pause the video. That's definitely the video. We're going to get to it in just a second. Before we do, today's show brought to you by ghostbed.com/wolfpack or /ants, whatever one you want to use. We both have the promo code. And if you go to Ant's Instagram, you'll see a skateboarding video. Promo code Ant. That is my son, Duke. I'm very proud. Augie was there too. And they got to do some Ghost Bed content with Ant and Blake Reynolds. And that was just a really proud moment of me watching them be able to do that and collaborate with adults and be extremely respectful as they were and hardworking as they were. So that was a lot of fun. But Ghost Bed just in the mail when I got back from the trip. I don't know if when you got back from the trip, you got your massage topper. I got my massage topper. I have not pulled it out yet. I'm still trying to figure out a video to make for it, because I really want to make a video of it. But I'm really excited. Now, this is to Ant and I's followers only. Pre-order. And when does the pre-order start? Oh, it already started on our I think it's already started on our on the ghostbed.com/wolfpack.
Okay.
Or and /ant probably too. But you guys could go ahead and get this massage topper. How much is the massage topper? Now you're gonna get 50% off site wide. I think this includes the topper. I don't want to speak in.
Well, here I don't recall the price of it, but here's what's interesting about it. So a lot of people can't afford the full mattress, and that's totally understandable. You can put this topper on any bed, which is super cool. And while you're talking, I'm going to go grab the bag because it's right here. It rolls up and it comes with its own carrying case.
So this is my new travel thing. I'm going to Virginia Beach this week. My kids are skating in Jackalope Fest at the end of this month. If you want to come out and watch my kids skate in a pro level, big time skateboard, there'll be thousands. I think it was like 80,000 people there last year over the weekend. Just watching my kid compete was like 3,000 people in the stands. If you want to come see the Tansy fam, we will be there the whole week, Virginia Beach, hanging out. You're gonna have to private message me either on Failure to Stop or on Eric Tansy Official on Instagram. That'll be the only way I can get up with you. But if you want to meet the Tansy boys and girls, we will be there on the beach, on the boardwalk the whole weekend in the skate contest. And you can kind of see it behind the scenes there if you want to do that. But I will be traveling with my new ghost bed topper that I'm taking with me and my ghost bed pillow. As you already know, head over to ghostbed.com/wolfpack or ant, A-N-T for conservative ant. Get you sleep so good. It's scary. There it is. It rolls up really nice. Good travel packaging there. He is a hand model. I know that some of you guys watching are like, is that a hand model? That's actually Ant. That is actually Ant's hands. Beautiful hands there. Beautiful packaging. Thank you so much, Ant. All right. We have the We Defy Foundation Roll-O-Rama coming up. We're $500 short as of right now. But that takes place like what, May? Is it May? It's the Monday, May 27th. Is that when the We Defy is? The roll-a-thon? I don't know. Let me look it up. So we only have like 2 weeks left of this, right, guys? So if you want to super chat, if you want to donate, you can go to Eric Tansy Official. I will put the storyboard up with the QR code. You can hit that QR code and donate. If we get to $1,000, I will be rolling for 1 hour straight against many different people as hard as I can go for 1 hour straight with no breaks, just getting choked. As soon as somebody chokes me out or I choke them out, a new person jumps in. I'll be doing this in a yellow Hulk Hogan Speedo. If we get $1,200, Ant is going to come up and be the last roll on that Monday, choking me out. I will fly him up here personally. So if you want to leave a super chat, $5, $10, $20, we are at $500 right this minute. We did get $100 donation off of Uncuffed this week, so that might bring us to $600. I don't know if I'm doing the math correctly there. Either way, it looks like we got about $400 or $500 to go to hit that 1,000 mark, and about $700, $800 to go to that $1,200 mark. So if you want to lose a super chat, the We Defy Foundation gives jiu-jitsu scholarships to wounded veterans or disabled veterans, 80% or above, so that they can do jiu-jitsu and get their life back together. They provide mentorship, coaching for a whole year. And then it goes beyond that, because then we get to be a part of like an affiliate not an affiliate program, but a program where you can work with other veterans and you're now kind of like a mentor yourself. It's one of the best veterans against suicide. If you're doing jujitsu, you're not committing suicide. I promise you that. Like, it's just that kind of community. It's that kind of culture. So donate right now, wedefyfoundation.org. I will post that QR code, leave us a super chat, and we'll get that going. Okay, next up on the deck, we got factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50. Get your meal plan starting today. Get in shape for the summer. Get looking good. One thing I heard from this meetup that we just did live in Orlando was how good Ant and I looked. We look healthy. We look lean. You ran into that jiu-jitsu content creator, Combat Creative, which did a documentary about you a few years ago. You didn't recognize him. He didn't recognize you because everybody's on this fit train, baby. I opened up my mother-in-law's refrigerator this weekend, and it was chock full of Factor meals. I didn't even know she was on the Factor meal train. I asked her if she used my promo code. She said she did. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. I didn't even know you listened to my show. Didn't even know she knew that Factor meals existed. So I was really excited to see that Factor meals. I actually stole one. Don't tell her. Hopefully she's not listening to this episode. But you can do calorie conscious, protein heavy. You can do vegan, vegetarian. Get your meal planning started today. Get in shape for the summer. Get looking like us, dude. You saw me, guys. You saw me in December. I was 21 pounds heavier. You saw Ant and I's pictures from August. We were both a bunch of fat knuckleheads tromping through the jungles of South Florida. I can't wait to revisit these things and not feel like a sweaty, fat mess. That's all thanks to meal planning, getting the correct diet, exercising. But it really does start with the nutrients that you're putting in your body. Good health, mental wellness. It all starts with a good night's sleep and good food. That's why we're proud to be sponsored and partnered with Ghost Bed Pillows. Ghost Bed Beds and Pillows.com, Ghostbed, and factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. That's factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. David J coming in with $100. Dude, yo, you guys are going to make this worth it for you guys.
He wants to see your thighs wrapped around my face on the mat.
This is going to be great. I'm not going easy on you either, but I'll be so tired it won't even matter. You probably be
I'll be like, no, stop.
Well, don't go north to south on me.
Stop.
I'm so tired I can't keep my head up. Thank you, JBJ. Seriously, that means a lot. Guys, new Patreon content drops today. Did it drop today or yesterday?
Downloaded it this morning. Got to get your description, then it'll go out today.
Okay, we'll have a new Patreon. It was incredible. I had Colonel Kitchens in from Charleston. They drove 4 hours to do this. It was fucking insane. It was so good. If you want to talk about like leadership in a very entertaining way, Colonel Kitchens, very politically incorrect. He is going to be the next good sheriff of Charleston County, South Carolina. When I'm telling you, it was worth it. It was worth planning this with the pirate hunter, Justin, who's been a big fan of Failure to Stop for a long time. But the pirate hunter, you can find him on Instagram. He's incredible and does a lot of things for veterans. He's a veteran himself. Obviously, that's why they call him the pirate hunter, the killer of pirates. Real pirates, and I've done an episode with them, and they came in yesterday, and it was just an epic show, and the cigar afterwards was incredible. All right, let's get into this next story. Trump trolls judge. This judge.
You want to show that video first?
Oh yeah, okay. Let's play the video. Now this is a video content that I wrote the script. Listen, only because it's going on the show. I have to. I normally would not give myself so much clout, but I wrote this script and I shot it. I'm not in the video, but I shot the video and was a big part of writing the script. I think it's safe to say it was my idea, right? But the actors stole the show from me. So I get no credit, no clout, except from that statement right there, because I don't know, guys. I think you guys from this reel, I think you guys get some acting gigs. Go ahead and roll this beautiful bean footage. So right now they're seeing a safe place sticker on a door to a restaurant.
It's a safe place for me.
Safe place.
Safe place safe for you.
Go in. He goes in. I'm not gonna play by play it. If you're listening on audio, go to Instagram and watch the video.
Hello? Yep, no, I'm walking out of the bar right now. Yeah? I'm good. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I have to go. I have to let you go. Okay.
Boy, Anthony!
You better come back, bud! Hey!
Get back over here! No,
Come on! Hey! It's a safe space. Hey, whatever. Buy hoochies and go to the bar. Safe place safe for you.
It ends with the safe place sticker. So basically,
I added a couple of little things in the script too. That whole boop boop thing.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. It was really fun. What did you think? Like when I started saying like, let's make a reel, like what like in your brain, did you have faith in it?
I did, because so I'm like a raw content creator, so I don't do like very well with the editing stuff, but I knew that when you were involved in that, I was like, this is going to be fucking good. And it was.
Yeah. I thought that was a super fun video to make. But anyway, yeah, there you go. Safe space. That's how LGBTQ feels when your business sets up a safe space area. If you're not in the safe space, you're going to get gay bashed. Now, my first idea for the video was that you see the sign that says safe space, and then the next scene is me just beating the fucking brakes off of you inside the bar, and then you're suing the bar because it wasn't very safe. Yeah. But we decided to scratch that idea and go with the second idea, which I think was a lot funnier. But it was so much fun just coming up with content ideas, sitting around the table, in between podcasts and hanging out with the Anti-Hero podcast and doing the meetup at the Street Cop training event. It was all very fun. So thank you guys for doing that. All right, let's go to Trump troll level America. Trump, now, if you don't know, the Stormy Daniels case is heating up, might even get thrown out at this point. It's going very tit for tat. I think she's acting very immature. This is all for shock value. I'm not up Trump's asshole. Listen, I've said on the show many times, if you were like, say, Eric, what are the odds that Trump's paid for an abortion? I'd say fucking probably 90%. I wouldn't bet against it. It's not something I would bet. I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying I don't know, but I wouldn't bet against it. Listen, Trump's probably a lot like me in my journey in life. Like, I was kind of a piece of shit when I was younger. I partied. I never crossed certain boundaries, but I was a wild child. And who's to say that Trump wasn't? He's got a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of friends. So I've never been one of these guys that just thinks that Trump is holier than now. I doubt he is. Listen, if you think I'm holier than now, then you're extremely mistaken. So I'm not trying to say this because I'm up Trump's ass in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is, as a police officer, watching how she speaks and what she says, I don't believe what she says. I don't believe it. It doesn't seem probable to me. And it's not even appropriate for courtroom decorum at all, which makes me not want to believe it even more.
But here's my thing, though. This has nothing to do with the current case that he's in. This has nothing to do with it. But also, you spent the money, bitch, right? Excuse me. Yeah. You spent the money he gave you, right? You accepted the money, right? So why is it a problem now? Who's paying you now to say this shit? I'm sorry. I'm not bashing. I'm not bashing. I'm not a victim basher, shamer, whatever they say. If you're a true victim, but see this shit, you took his money when he gave it to you, though, right? So you spent that shit. So now what's your fucking problem? I'm sorry, I'm Italian. So it's like, hey, bitch, I gave you the fucking money. What's wrong now?
Hey, what's the matter with you?
You spent the fucking money, right? You bought cars, bracelets.
You bought a cannoli.
You bought tits. You bought all this shit. Now you got a fucking problem? Get the fuck out of here before I fucking do it again.
Yeah, and listen, she's definitely getting paid. I think the courtroom decorum, though, for those of you who don't know or aren't following the case, she basically got in there and just went into extremely graphic detail. Even after the objection, she just kept going. She's like, I spanked his ass with a rolled up, magazine, and was just talking about all the kinky stuff. And they were like, stop. They actually had to excuse the jury. But the problem with that is that is planned out. That's not something she was like, well, I'm going to do this and retard the jury. That is something like where these attorneys in the little pregame back in the office were like, it would be really great. What we really need here is a distraction. We really need something like, hey, listen, if you say something outrageous and they object to it, you've already said it, and you can't erase that from their minds. I'm just saying it's not the right thing to do, but if you were to do it, and that's what it really looked like was happening. The judge did threaten, I think, at one point that it could lead to a mistrial if she keeps it up. I think the whole trial is dumb anyway, but Trump goes and trolls to the next level after this. He's been fined, I guess, at this point for contempt of court twice. So now what he's doing is he's reading the slanderous articles about him live on, what is it, Twitch?
It was right after he came out of the courtroom. It went on Fox News. Well, MSNBC, CNN, none of those they're not going to cover it. They're going to record it, and then they're going to clip the 3 seconds that they want to just use and say, look, this is how bad he is. But we have the full thing if you want to watch it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hatton and former President Trump.
Are you a victim of extortion? The country is on fire. There are protests all over the country. I've never seen anything like this. Many graduation ceremonies are being canceled. They're canceled, as you know, in Colombia. They're canceling a lot of them. And we have a president that just refuses to talk because he can't talk. You know that. So does everyone else. Some of the statements made about this witch hunt on CNN, fake news CNN, Michael Moore said the proof of falsifying records has not been accomplished. On Good Morning America, they said We heard that expense payments to lawyers are legal expenses. You pay a lawyer expense payments. We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense. There's nothing else you could say. You don't have to put down anything, I guess. But we put down legal expense was legal expense.
So anyway, to get the point across is he still keeps going.
I love how he trolled them with an orange jump, like a jail orange tie, by the way.
Oh, you think that's what that is?
I mean, he's the ultimate troll, bro.
I love it. But so you know what? Instead of talking, he's giving out public information brought to you by CNN, which is on their side, and I think that is just the ultimate troll level. So this trial is heating up. We know it's garbage. They've dropped or they've suspended indefinitely his trial. What is it in Florida? For the Mar-a-Lago stuff. So you know, nothing to see here. Another big story out right now that we have to cover. This is breaking news. Is this voter fraud that they have discovered in Wisconsin? That's probably going to get this taken down. But we do have some. Go ahead and just briefly, because we got one more story to get to, Josh. So I need just a brief summary of what's going on in Wisconsin with the election leaders ousted 6 months before the election in the swing state and harboring and creating fake ballots.
So all of the stuff around the 2020 election was thrown out not because someone broke. It was everything that was thrown out has been procedural. It hasn't been because the merit of the claim of the alleged allegation. It's not because the merit isn't there. It didn't have enough evidence to support the claim. It's because you didn't file it by 2 p.m. and dot your I. They've been throwing them out for stuff like that. So what happened is what's happened here in the last week or so. This Milwaukee election leader ousted after 6 months before the presidential campaign. We're getting ready to go into the next election cycle. And this is because during the 2020 election cycle, she, quote, found, I'm trying to find the exact number of votes. She printed 64,000 ballots in the back of a conference room on City Hall, room 501 for the November 3rd, 2020 election. She then had city employees and others fill out these on the 4th and 6th and other floors of the City Hall. She then kicked out observers around 10 to 10:30 p.m. on November 3rd. She then brought in a large number of ballots at 1:15 a.m. on November 4th. An illegal, unconstitutional number one way, however, the Liberals stole the election in 2020, end quote from Peter Behringer. This is an email that was sent to Claire. Damn, Claire, you have a flair for drama, delivering just the margin needed at 3:30 a.m. I bet you had those votes counted to midnight, just wanted to keep the world waiting. So this is going on right now.
Oh my gosh, dude.
This is in Wisconsin.
This is evil. These are evil motherfuckers, and they should be in prison. They should be sentenced for treason.
And they are fucking putting J6ers in jail for being mad that that the election was a fraud, and now it's coming out. So what do you better let my fucking Americans out of fucking prison because they're political prisoners for exactly what you guys are saying to be true. And you chastised everybody for the last 3.5 fucking years on this shit. What? Joe Biden is a not legitimate president at all. I've never seen not one fucking piece of paraphernalia about Joe Biden. Nobody likes this motherfucker. It's all a fucking ruse. Sorry.
It's all right, Anthony. Georgia's Secretary of State is refusing to turn over the technical information to prove that ballots over 300,000 ballot images from the 2020 election day are missing from the Fulton County, Georgia records. So those two things are going on in parallel right now. So when
completely kind of tucked away on mainstream media, you're really only allowed to find these things on Twitter and on TikTok, which is kind of why they want to ban both of said platforms. Now they can find this though on mainstream media if you type it in correctly. So if you go and you type in this woman's name, what's her name again?
Let me get it. Claire Woodall Vault.
Yeah, if you type in
VOGG.
Claire Woodall, you can find these stories on the alternative press and some other mainstream outlets. But for the most part, this is all independent journalists kind of posting these things on Twitter because mainstream media is not giving it any light of day because it really paints the picture of what we've all been saying and the narrative that we've all believed, this conspiracy fact that, you know, maybe we do have some election interference things that we need to worry about as a society and to, you know, protect this democratic status that we have. All right, we got to go into one more. We have the Frat Boys raising the flag, also trolling these Palestinians. Now, here's the thing I have against this. This is where I think George Soros has really got his hands in this. And I want to be very clear in the next, you know, we got to go hang this up in 6 minutes. So I'm going to get it out fast. Here we go. Guys, listen, I think what's going on in Gaza is extremely questionable. I think we've all done some questionable things. I think war is questionable. And I think that if you're a general, if you're a president, then you make a hard stance on what you're doing and be pretty clear with what your intentions are. Hey, we're going to blow this up. We're going to hunt you down in every nook and cranny. And we don't care who we kill in the process. You can let go of the hostages or not. Now, the Hamas has said, we'll let go of the this week. They said, we'll give you the rest of the hostages. We just need a ceasefire. And Israel does the exact opposite. They invade Rafah or whatever it is on the southern part of Gaza to continue the bloodshed here. And, you know, Israel, are you really, is Netanyahu really up for negotiation, or does he want all war? I think there is enough for protesters to question, young minds to use some critical thinking, but your movement is mute when George Soros and fam take it over and create some kind of pro-Hamas, we no longer know what. Now, if you were protesting against genocide and against war crimes, do it. Go ahead. I'm for that. However, your movement has become not about that. You have a bunch of children who don't know what they're protesting against, and right now they're siding with Hamas, which is absolutely the wrong way to go. And then you do something like this. You lower an American flag and attempt to raise a Palestinian flag on American soil, and now you've made it you versus America. And your point will never, ever be taken seriously. America on American soil is going to win every time, and we are not going to respect the important protests that you're giving. Notice I say important protests. I think that your right to protest is very important. I think that it is valid for some of you to question it. I'm questioning some of these things myself. I don't know the answers to them, but I think they are legit questions. But your protests, these takeovers, have become more about being pro-Hamas, being pro-Burqa, than they have about questioning war crimes and violence against innocent people, which is what this is about. This is not pro-Hamas or pro-Palestinian. You are anti-war crime. That's much different than being pro-Palestinian. What you have here, these protests have been retarded, and they try to raise up this Palestinian flag, and now you have this very USMC Iwo Jima moment where the frat boys say, "Not today, motherfuckers," and they raise the flag on their own. And like I said, if you're going to make this Palestine versus America, this is the kind of rhetoric you're going to get. This is what you're going to see. This is a beautiful picture. I love this image. All I can say to the protesters is organize yourselves better. You going after the Met Gala. How does the Met Gala, is the Met Gala deploying troops to Gaza right now? By the way, the Met Gala is raising money for your protest and for your cause. So when you go and interrupt the Met Gala and act like an idiot, you're only hurting your own fundraising opportunities and causing the people that are with you, that are rich elites, to kind of start questioning you as well. You look very stupid in this case. That's what I'm saying. You guys have got to, it's not America versus Palestine, folks. This is, you are against war crimes, violence on individuals. I'm not going to push it as far as a genocide, but you have made it something that it's not, and it's very damning. And maybe this is what George Soros wants. He does want chaos. He does want ultimate division. That's what this has become. But this is what you get as very patriotic symbols, and this is going to ring through the election. I mean, this has become a symbol. It's become artwork. People are posting it everywhere. They're putting music to it. Now you have frat boys that are literally playing the national anthem at the highest decibel to keep a very psyop way of doing things to keep these campers in the encampments to keep them awake at night. I call it troll level America. You made this you against America, and now you're going to have to reap the whirlwinds.
I think it's funny that the people that are paying for this are the same people that are being protested against at the Met Gala, because it's all of the Democratic donors that are all there. So they're paying, all of these Democratic donors are paying all this money into these slush funds and these companies and say that, well, we're here to help, and we're here to help this, and we're here for humanitarian aid and all this stuff, but we're going to funnel it through this other company and then funnel the money through this other company and make it really hard to make our mission to be transparent and do good. Instead of doing that, we're just going to launder this money and end up paying for all these tent encampments to show up at all these universities. Coincidentally, around the same time frame as an election that happened 4 years ago, the timing of things, too coincidental. The similarity between things, too coincidental. And then you go back and you start looking at the arrests that happen, especially at the universities. How many of the arrests, how many of those people are actually affiliated with the university? They're a graduate of the university, they're a current student there, or they're actually an alumni there, or they're actually a faculty there. And you find out that the majority of them have nothing to do with the university. So take George Floyd, take the LGBT movement, take whatever abortion, take whatever huge polarizing thing that we can use to divide this country. And that's where that Democratic money is going to, because that's what's happening.
Right. It's all George Soros funded politicians that are creating these activities. And that's why it's really important for you to make sure that your politician that you're electing, Democrat or Republican, isn't backed by George Soros, because this is what George Soros backed politicians give you. That is our time for today. We really appreciate you guys for hanging out. Corn Pop was a bad dude, says it took a lot of effort to demoralize this country and weaken it to this point. I'm proud of those young men for the defending the flag. I'm actually excited at this go around that we've got more conservatives or right wingers standing up and being a little bit more boisterous than they were 4 or 5 years ago. I think that's exciting. Fulkinator, Folk Around and Find Out, says, what happened to being pro-America? We agree with you. Davey, as a fraternity alumni, I've never been more proud than when I saw those young men protecting our flag. Long live the bro literate. I'm not a frat guy, so I don't know what that means. But you're well said, Davey. Regardless, Fidel Tridu, we appreciate all you guys. Teresa Flobert, thank you guys. Red's up in the chat, says she loves Ant. That is great. We appreciate all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you follow us at Failure to Stop, at Conservative Ant, at Last Call _12, Deadleg Media. Do all the things. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. You want to watch this story grow. You want to watch this show continue to flourish and to do all the things. Please check out the other shows on this network, like Anti-Hero Podcast, Getting a Grip on Things. We got a new show coming, and a new night shift TSI drops this week, brought to you by Red Pill Threads. So get excited about that. From myself, Conservative Ant, Deadleg Media, this has been Uncuffed Wednesday on the Failure Stop Podcast channel. Until next time, cheers.